Hey guys, wanted to bring you another video of the St. Louis and Niners recap of today's game. The final was 13-10 at Levi Stadium in Santa Clara, California. And it was very disappointing to see the Niners should have won this game. They were favorites. They took care of business in St. Louis last time where they needed that win, and now looks like they're going to be down that last stretch pretty tough. Because the reason why I'm going to say it's tough and why most of these games are must-win these next coming up weeks, Cardinals 7-1, pretty much. They could look like a lock in the playoffs unless they really fall apart. But they're looking good, and they're 2 games ahead of Seahawks. Seahawks won today and took care of business like they were supposed to against the Raiders. Niners, they're supposed to have their players, I believe, next week, so it should definitely help. But now you better be ready with those players next week, because now you're traveling to New Orleans, and New Orleans is a really good team at their home. They're not a good team on the road, and so this is going to be a tough game next week, I would say. And this is going to be interesting because if they fall apart again, you could see St. Louis jumping, looking ahead. St. Louis plays the Cardinals. St. Louis plays in Arizona next week. So, I hate to say it, but you might want Arizona to win, but then you're going to be tight with Arizona if you lose next week, or St. Louis, or have the worst record, actually. But then Seahawks, you want them to lose too, but they're playing against the Giants if you're a Niners fan. Now, if the Seahawks, if you're a fan of the Seahawks, same thing. You want St. Louis to win, because then you're 1 game behind Arizona. Niners to lose, and then you'll now have 1 game back. So this next week's going to be interesting because it's going to start coming down to the stretch. And I think to get in the playoffs, if you're in the NFC West, you're going to have to be 11-5, I think. 10-6, you missed the playoffs last year with the Arizona Cardinals. You don't want a repeat of that. So that's just giving you a heads up. That's a glimpse to the future of what could happen if you finish 10-6 in the NFC West. So that means the Niners are 4-4. You can't lose 1 more game. You could lose 1 more game, actually, to be okay. But is it next week, your last game that you could lose? So you don't want that game to lose. You want those games that you're supposed to win, and I think the Niners need that game more than New Orleans, because New Orleans in the South, it's wide open right now. So other than that, Chris Borland had a really good game with Patrick Willis and Bowman. That could be a really good lineup for the linebackers. Aldon Smith should be back. Defense is going to look a lot better, but the offensive line looks horrible. You gotta protect Kaepernick. There has to be enough time. Those running lanes need to be open for the runners too. And it's kind of telling where they didn't want to give it to Frank Gore or Carlos Hyde down the goal line with about 45 seconds left, with the 1 yard line, I believe, where you could have got a touchdown that way with a run, where in the past, but it didn't happen. Pass, and you tried the last, or pass, run with the Kaepernick, and the Kaepernick went for a fumble, and I thought he went in, but the thing is, I knew you could not tell that his knee's down, but it was so many bodies down there, you could not tell that he was already down and crossed the plane. So since it's not reversible, because you can't tell, and the ruling was that it was already a fumble, and the Rams recovered it. Yeah, so it's really hard to dispute that in that sense. So other than that, gotta tip my hats off on the new 3 notes that I thought was interesting. Rams snapped their losing streak. Congratulations to Anquan Bolden with their 900th catch 900 reception catch, and Chris Borland 18 solo tackles. So those were 3 interesting notes to take away from this game. Other than that, 3-5 for St. Louis, Niners 4-4, and then Seattle Seahawks 5-3, 7-1 Arizona. So this is going to be an interesting race down the stretch. Go ahead and like, share, comment, and subscribe, and support this channel to subscribe down below. Thanks again.